Hi everyone, it's Dina, the Nightly Stitcher, and this is August the 7th, Sunday, 2022, and I'm back for Flosstube number 10. It's been almost 3 weeks since my last video. I try to do them within a couple of weeks of each other, and this last week I did do a video on Monday. I actually did 3 videos on Monday. Every time I was videoing, something happened, and as you know, I don't know how to edit, so I've been still trying to find a program to learn to edit on. I think I found one. My daughter's going to come in this next Friday, and we're going to try to figure out how to edit. I record on my phone, so I would really like to be able to edit on my phone. If anybody knows that's possible, just let me know. So since I do it on my phone, I just would like to be able to have some sort of editing app on there. So anyway, in the last 3 weeks, well, let's back it up a minute. I want to thank everybody, all of my subscribers, for coming back for Flosstube number 10. We're in double digits now, so I want to thank you for sticking around, coming back and watching each time, and I hope you enjoy what you're seeing, and hope you continue to stay with me. If I have some new subscribers, I want to welcome you. If you just happen to come across my channel, I appreciate you sticking around and watching, seeing what I have to show. Hope you enjoy it. If you like it, I would appreciate a thumbs up. And if you really like it, you could subscribe and hit the bell, and you'll get a notification when I upload a new video. So this last 3 weeks, or about 2.5 weeks, whatever, I haven't been doing too much. It's been super hot outside, so just kind of staying in the house, and been doing a little bit of sewing and cross stitch. Been doing a little reorganization in my sewing room and my quilting room, and let's see, what else have I done? I don't know. It seems like the days go by so fast, and I don't see what I got done, but it's just little piddly stuff here and there, I guess. I did do a long arm quilt. I had made a quilt for our camper, which is 2 years old, and I made a king-size quilt for it, and I had never gotten it long arm, so put it on the rods, and I quilted it this last couple of weeks. Then I still have to make like 15 miles of binding to go around it, so because a king-size quilt is huge, so I got to do that. I may work on that this week. I got new glasses, if you can tell. I just got them Friday, so I'm trying to get used to them. My eyes, when I look at a distance, are kind of blurry yet. They told me it might take a little bit for them to get used to it, but anyway, I got those, and they're kind of rubbing my nose a little bit, so I'm going to have to go up Monday and have them readjust them a little bit. I was trying to think of what else we did. I didn't really write it down. I do have notes, but I didn't write it down. My oldest daughter and I, we went to St. Charles on Friday, this past Friday, and went to a library sale, or library book sale. And she only bought a couple of books, but she had gone to a library book sale in St. Louis a month or so ago, and she bought a bunch of books. So this time it was my first library book sale, so I bought a bunch of books. I bought 46 books, but got some cross stitch included in that 46, so I'll show those to you later. And then we did that on Friday. It was really fun. We just drove down for the afternoon and back. What else did we do? My husband and I and my brother and sister-in-law, my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, it's my husband's brother and his wife, we went to an auction, not this past Thursday, but the Thursday before. We went to an auction that was at the 4-H Center here, and it was 2 widow ladies that they were selling their antique collection, and then since their husbands had passed away, they were selling tools and stuff like that. So not really stuff as far as household. It was mostly their antique collection, a little few pieces of furniture, but half the 4-H center was pretty much just collectibles, antiques, and the other half was men's stuff, tools, lawn stuff, and all that. So we went out there, and I was standing over where all the kind of antique stuff was, and this lady walked up to me, and she showed me her phone, and she said, "Is this you?" And I said, "Yeah." She had pulled my Facebook or my Flosstube up, and was asking me if it was, if that was me. And she said, "Well, I'm Glee. I'm the one that's been messaging you the last couple of days." So it had ended up, she had found my Flosstube, and she had been messaging me back and forth, and we were talking. And she only lives about 30 minutes from here, in that little rural town. So we talked and talked and talked cross-stitch. She, once they got over to where they were at the men's area auctioning all the men's stuff off, it's just a group of men over there, and all the women are wandering around or sitting in chairs waiting on the men to get done. And so her and I, we stood there and talked for so long, and it was so much fun to talk cross-stitch face-to-face with somebody that enjoys it. To be able to share your love of cross-stitch with someone, it really makes you feel good. So there are stitchers, out there that they do it as a hobby, but they're not into it quite as much as other people. I call it an obsession, and it is. I'm obsessed with it. I always have been. I think if I'm not cross-stitching, I'm thinking about it, and if I am cross-stitching, I'm thinking about, what I want to do next, what I need to finish, just, always thinking of cross-stitch. So, yeah, it's definitely an obsession with me. So, let's see, what else? I'm gonna let you know, or tell you who I've been watching this past 3 weeks as far as Flosstubers. I have some happy mail I was gonna show. The fabric drawing that I did for my 3,000 subscriber giveaway has never been claimed, so I am going to give you that name again. On Monday of last week, I did 3 takes, 3 almost complete videos, and something happened every time. So I was going to do it later in the week, and I just didn't get it done. So this is hopefully the one that'll work. So I drew the name during that first take, so I just have it to show you this time around. But anyway, we're going to do the name for the fabric drawing. I've got 3 whips to show you that I've been working on. What I bought, I've got some stuff there, and then I have some questions from people, and then something I thought might be kind of fun. I saw some other people showing charts that they had, and that they weren't working on, just some charts that they had. So I thought I'd store all of my charts in these magazine holders, and I file them by designer name. So I thought it'd be fun just to grab the first one, the A's, and we'll look through them, see what I have. Some are out of print, and you may have to look on secondary market, but I have a lot of books, or a lot of patterns, and Hannah's gonna bark in the background. So anyway, let's get on with what I have to talk about. I wanted to shout out, or I wanted to say thank you to Roberta and Lenny from the Sable Stitcher. They shouted me out the other day. And also Chrissy, finally a farm girl, shouted me out a little while back. So I appreciate that, and for y'all doing that. Let's see, on Flosstube, I watched Chrissy, finally farm girl, and the Sable Stitchers. Then I watched Nancy and Jen on the Bougie Stitchers. They are so funny. They just make me laugh the way they do that bickering back and forth, being sisters. But they're just so funny. So if you don't catch them, go over and look at them. Yanni Stitcher is one. I used to watch her, and then it, for some reason, is not coming up in my feed, and I happened to find her. She is a Mexican cross stitcher, but she speaks English, so she's very easy to understand. But she likes to stitch large projects with a lot of color. So one of her videos, she shows you a lot of her projects that she has stitched and framed and has hanging on the wall. So she's one that would be good to go watch. And then a new one I found is Hoopy Hobby. And I think her name's Angie. She hasn't been stitching too long, and she's only done 2, 3, 4 videos. So try to catch Hoopy Hobby. 2 Needles Pulling Thread. I watched Missy and Kathy. Kathy has had some health problems, so it's been a little rough for her, I think, this past week. And just thinking of you, Kathy, if you watch this. Thinking of you, and hopefully you won't have too much of an issue with your treatment. So Happy Mail, I wanted to show you what I have on Happy Mail. I had back when I had COVID, I have to get a drink right quick. Back when I had COVID in July, Tiffany from Stitching with the Twins, and the twins are Addie and Ainsley. They're her 10-year-old daughters, and they all 3 do video together, and it's so much fun to watch them. So Tiffany had messaged me and wanted to know if she could send me something, and I said, well, you don't really have to. And she said, oh, she thought it was always fun to get a little something in the mail when you're not feeling well. So I gave her my address, and she sent me this card. And I thought, well, she's going to send me something. I really wanted a needle magnet. And she has these cute little needle magnets, Stitching with the Twins. And I wanted one of these so bad. So when I opened the package up, here was a needle magnet. So this just thrilled me. And then not only did she do that, but her and the girls made me this little zipper case. And it's made with the 1930 reproduction fabric. It's little, about the size of an accessory case. This is the background fabric, and same fabric inside. But it's a nice size for your scissors and needles and highlighter, just any little thing you want to put in it. I don't have one of these, so it was really nice that I got this. I use an old, vinyl plastic cosmetic bag, and it'll be nice to have a pretty bag instead of the old cosmetic bag. So thank you very much, Tiffany and girls. And then Addie colored me a get well soon picture. So I have this hanging on my refrigerator. And then Ainsley also colored me a picture. It says get well soon. And I felt really bad during COVID, so this was nice. It's been a long time since I've had pictures colored and sticking on my refrigerator, so it was really nice. I appreciate it, girls. And then I had a stitchy friend that said she wanted to send me something, and she wants to remain anonymous, and that's just fine. So she sent me this pretty little card, and I don't know how she knew, but she sent me this vintage cup and saucer. And she said in her card she liked vintage cups and saucers. Well, I also like vintage cups and saucers. I have 3 or 4 that I have sitting around in my house. So she sent me this, and I have it sitting right over here on my cedar chest. So let me set this over here so I don't bump it. Okay, so she sent me that, but then I was surprised when I kept looking through the box. She sent me this scissor fob, and it has a beach theme. Has this little starfish on the bead. It has a shell down here. Has the shell buttons, starfish button. And then it also has the little fish charm. And I've been keeping this on here, and I really wanted to put it on my scissors, but I kept holding off. But if you go to Etsy, it's the card at the bottom says Sweet Autumn Stitch. So she's evidently a Etsy shop that is making scissor fobs. So thank you so much for that. She sent me a floss card with a lighthouse on it, and I will be using that in one of my beach-themed cross-stitch projects. But not only did she send me all of that, she sent me a lighthouse needle magnet. I don't know what that is right there. Oh, I broke a magnet the other day, and it stuck to that one. Yeah, because that one's not broke. I bought some magnets and I broke one, but anyway, here's the needle magnet, and that's all rhinestones down at the bottom and up in the lighthouse. But not only, sorry I move it around, but my hands shake and there's nothing I can do about it. They just continue to get worse and it drives me nuts, but something I'm gonna have to live with. And then she also sent me this little Pomeranian needle magnet. And I don't have a Pomeranian needle. I don't have either one of these, but I don't have a little palm magnet. And you all know how Tootie is, and this is a little Tootie magnet. So thank you so much for all of those. I really appreciate that. It was just more than you had to do. Or more than you needed to do. I just couldn't believe you sent me that much, but thank you so much. I love them all. And then I got this cute little card from Darlene. Wait a minute, I think it's Daylene. No, it's Darlene. Darlene had won the ocean chart I gave away in my 3,000 Flosstube subscriber giveaway. So she sent me this cute little thank you card. So thank you, Darlene. And that is all of my happy mail. I wanted to, let me see what I go on down here. I want to do the drawing name right now because I forgot it in one of the videos that I had. The third video that I did on Monday, I thought, I have it. And when I watched it back, I forgot to show you my main whip. And I also forgot to give the name out because I had drawn it in the first video. So for 3 pieces of fabric that I dyed, Kimberly Strickland, you won this. So if you are watching, I'm going to have my email below in the description box. Email me your mailing address and I will drop these 3 pieces of fabric in the mail to you. And hopefully, this being the 3rd time I drew, hopefully 3rd time's a charm and I can give that fabric away. So then on to my whips. My main whip, well, let's see. This was what I was working on the last time I was doing my Flosstube, was my birthday sal. And that is Elizabeth Penn Pitkins. And I'm doing the big sampler, but I have enough fabric to do all 3 of these. And I have on Instagram a hashtag of Dina's birthday sal, Elizabeth Penn Pitkins, if you'd like to follow that. You can also follow me as far as on Instagram and see anything else under the Nightly Stitcher. So this is what I was working on the last time, and I worked a couple of more nights past my last video, and all I put in was this alphabet here and this little border pattern right down there. And it was just a night or two, and I got tired of working on it, so I put it away. And then I got my Santa Village out because Chrissy, finally a farm girl, she gave me my marching orders and said that I needed to get this finished because I had the first 2 rows done and I have 4 buildings to do on the bottom. So I pulled it out, and I got Santa's Sleigh Works completely finished. And now I'm working on Gingerbread Emporium. And I also, as you can see, I did this little stripe border, but I went ahead and run the white all the way over to the edge. And so I do a little bit of white, and then I'd stitch on this, and then I do a little more white and stitch on it. So I still have to finish up the red. But this, I still have to go back and do a few things. I'm going to put the Mill Hill Petite beads in Santa's eyes, for his eyes. Let's see, what else? Oh, the post office. These are letters to Santa, and they're supposed to be hanging on a clothesline, so it's just a long thread, and I don't want to put that in until I'm completely done because I'm afraid I'll snag it and pull it. So that's gonna wait. I gotta put Mrs. Claus eyes in, and then I think these are chocolate chip cookies. I'm gonna put some little beads in there for the chocolate chips. And then let's see, as always when I'm videoing, I find something that I didn't do. And can you see this? I did not fill that house in. So I have to go back and do that. I would say I probably didn't have that color at the time and probably was waiting on it to come in on an order, and then just went right on about working on something else. This is the little stockings. The little stockings are hanging on a clothesline, so I'll have to do that. I'm going to use the petite beads for the reindeer eyes. Nothing there. I don't believe there's anything there that I have to go back on. And then nothing on the sleigh works that I have to go back and do. But all of these, each one of them will get a Jabco button of some kind. So I already have all of those buttons I picked up when I first started it. But I have to go back and fill that one house in, figure out what I did. And then my last whip, and that's what I've been working on. Worked on Santa's Village for about 9 days and got kind of tired of it. So I thought I'll pull something out, stitch on it, and then I'll go back and work on it again. So this is what I'm working on right now, Quaker Gone Tropic. That's by Michelle Inc. It is on a chart that's still available. I looked on 1-2-3 Stitch just to make sure that it was. So let me unroll this. And what I got done on it, I did this. Well, get it to where I can figure out which way I'm going here. I did this little corner, this little flower up here. And then I have to watch, I have my soda over there. And then I went straight down, and I am working on this green Quaker design here. But the other night I put, as you can see, the 2 rows of border. It was across, and it was like 6 stitches down and across, 6 stitches down across. I did that, except right here I had 5 stitches down. So after I got it all the way down to the bottom here, it did not line up. So I found the mistake up here, so I had to rip all this back out and put it back in. And I did that last night. I put that back in. So I don't have any more of this, which is used throughout it. It calls for 3 different kinds of thread. I think it takes calls for Gloriana, needlepoint silk, and Weeks Dye Works. I think it also has the DMC conversion. But I have a bunch of thread works, and I thought, well, I'm going to use those because I don't use them too often. So I pulled out colors that I liked. I felt like these colors were just way too bright for me. They're more neon, and I just couldn't do that. I love green, but I don't like that green. The purpley color's fine, the blue's fine, but I had to tone it down just a bit. So I had just enough to do this great big motif that's up here at the top. So I have some on order. I hope it works. I hope it matches, because I had to convert. It was Needle Necessities at one time, and they sold out. I think they went out of business, and then Threadworks bought them out or something like that. And then the colors don't, or the numbers don't match up the same. But I did find a conversion, so I'm hoping what I ordered the other day matches. So that is all of that. Let's see. I think that's it. I just had those 3 whips. So what I bought this last 3 weeks, I didn't get much. I bought, well, for one thing, I bought 10 packs of Bowen needles, because I love the Bowen needles. And when I stitch every project, I want a needle for every color. I use bobbins, and I was going to kind of show you if I can find one in here that's handy. Well, like this one. I'll just grab it. I use bobbins, but when I'm done using a color in an area, I just poke my needle down there and wrap the extra thread around it. And then that way I don't have to be threading needles all the time. And I think it saves a little bit of time, and you save the little scrap of your floss. So anyway, I bought needles. I bought this Lizzie Kate Unwrap the Joy of Christmas, which I've mentioned before in some of my videos, that I like to do these over one thread and make Christmas ornaments out of them. So I usually do them on 25 or 28 count and stitch them over one. This is Dear Santa, I Can Explain. And you'll see, I'll show my ornaments when it gets closer to the holidays. So you'll see the ones that I've got done. This one is Dusted On Fly By Night Aviation Institute. I really like that. I debated about this. I wanted to get it on vacation, and I didn't buy it. And I keep thinking about it, because I don't need any more Halloween. I have so many totes of Halloween and Christmas both, but I thought, I really like it, so I bought it. And then this one is, there's another pack of needles. This is called Turtles All the Way Down, and I had ordered it quite a while back. It's by Ink Circles. And I love turtles, especially sea turtles or box turtles, but I got a notification that this was back in stock, so I wanted to get it ordered, so I just went ahead and added these other 2 charts and the needles onto it. So I got those in. And let's see, that's what I bought. I do have, before we go into the rest of the stuff I bought, I'm going to show you a new start that I want to do, and I may start this in sometime this week. I want to get that one little motif done on Quaker Gone Tropic, and then I may start this. This is I don't think it makes too much of a difference to show it, but it's a free pattern from Blackbird. It's dated 2002, so I don't know if it's still available, but it doesn't give you, or it didn't on this, wherever I got this copy, and I've had this copy forever. It doesn't have any fabric or color on it, so I just picked this fabric, and I don't know who it's by. It just was in my stash, and I picked this apple cider. I think it's going to be really pretty on this fabric. Whoops. If you can see that, I think it's going to go really pretty on there with that modeling. So I think I'm going to start this week. It shouldn't take too long to do it, and so many of my projects are big, so it'd be kind of nice to have something a little bit smaller and see a finish. And speaking of finish, the other day I went through my, we talk about that under the bed box, and I showed that on one of my other videos. I went through the other day and I pulled out anything that was fall or Halloween or Christmas. And so I could try to start fully finishing some stuff. I had 14 pieces that I need to fully finish, so I got to get busy. So let me drop that back in here. Then on to, lay that down there. Oh, that is all I have, other than I had some people that were asking me some questions, and I'm going to show you what, this isn't a question that was asked, it's something I came up with, and don't laugh, but this is kind of funny. It's, I like to have, I said I'd like to have needles in all of my bobbins in my project. So if I've got a project that has 5 colors in it, I want 5 needles in it. If it's got 20 colors in it, I want 20 needles in it. I want everything in there that I can pick up and start working on. I don't have to go over here and get needles. I don't have to go over here and get a magnet board. And I use magnet boards all the time. So I just want everything there. Well, I have some magnet boards, bought magnet boards, but I have like 25 projects, so I can't afford to buy 25 magnet boards. So I came up with this crazy idea, and we were at Home Depot or Lowe's or something, and I found a roll of sheet metal, this regular old sheet metal, and it was about probably 10 or 12 inches high. And I bought it, and I brought it home, and I took 10 snips, and I sectioned it off into like 8-inch width. This is the magnet board, that's a sheet metal. This is duct tape that is around the 4 sides, because once you cut that, it can cut you. So I thought duct tape would help keep that. So now, that doesn't hurt at all. I may have to put some more around it. I don't know. But it's a way to have a magnet board at hardly any expense. So one other thing I figured out, and why I just figured this out the other day, I like to have my magnet board, when I'm stitching, I like to have it over to the side. Now this pattern doesn't go with this, so don't worry about it. But I like to have it over here when I'm stitching on this side, and then I move it over here when I'm stitching on this side. But I have to have my magnet board, and then I use magnets to find my line and just kind of move it down. But when I get ready, if I've got it on my lap stand and I get ready to tie my threads off on the back, I have to lay the magnet board over on my chair arm and then flip this over to tie it off. And 9 times out of 10, this isn't the chair I stitch in, but this magnet board will go off and hit the floor. That makes me so mad every time. And some of my magnet boards are so dog-eared from hitting. So I came up with this idea the other day, and I had bought some magnets. I ended up buying, well, I was going to make some needle minders too, but I bought 100 of these high-powered magnets off of Amazon. And let me see if I can get some of them pulled off of here. So this is the idea I came up with. And why I didn't think about this years ago. You take your magnet board and put it on the back, and I put like 5 of these. Whoops, they all jumped out of my hand at the same time. So I just put enough on here. I think I used 5 the other day. And I put them on the back like that. And this magnet board is not coming off of here. You can turn it and shake it, and it stays right there. So then when I get ready to flip it over to tie my thread off, my magnet board stays there, and then I flip it back over and start stitching again. So if you're one that stitches the way I stitch, you might be interested in doing something like that. I had someone that asked me, she noticed in one of my videos that I had what looked like pillowcases for my projects. And that's exactly what they are. Let me find one. I had a really pretty one here last week when I filmed. Well, I'm just going to pull this one out. I have a crate here that's got projects in it, and it's got scroll rods. So I'm just going to show you this one. But my mom did a lot of embroidery, and so I have a lot of her pillowcases that they don't fit our pillows on our bed because we use the bigger pillows and her pillowcases were smaller for a full-size bed. So what I've done, this is just a plain blue pillowcase, but I take the pillowcases, and if I've got a scroll rod or a Q-snap that I need a bag for, this is my big red ship of life, I turn them wrong side out and I lay my scroll rod on the pillowcase, and then I go out about 1.5 inches and draw a line, cut it off, well, I pin it, cut all that excess off, and then just hem it up, so a seam, turn it right side out, and you just got this long tube. So that way I can keep my projects in here until I'm ready to stitch on them. So if I don't stitch on them for several months, they don't get the dust on them. And so the other day I thought I got to come up with another idea, because these are all in wooden crates. Like I said, I've got 3 wooden crates, so I have to look down in the pillowcase to see what project it is. So this was really a quickie decision to do, but it works. And I took a scrap of fabric and a Sharpie marker and wrote, like, this is the big red ship of life, and I just safety pinned it on there. That way it's standing up in the crate and I see exactly what project this is. And I thought I could use some iron-on and put that on there, but then I know that's going to be permanent. I'm going to be, rotating these around. So I just thought, oh, I'll just safety pin it. And I didn't even cut this. I just took an old piece of white sheeting and just ripped the little square out and used a marker on it. So I'm not fancy at all. It's whatever works for me. It's what I do. Let me look here. Told you about the magnet board and the magnets to hold it. I had a lady that asked me about sewing the strips on the sides of my fabric, why I did that. And that is because I never allow more than 2 inches of fabric around the edge. And if it's going to be an ornament, it's probably going to be less than that. So every inch that I can save over a project is that much I have for another piece. And, it might be that you have something that's just an inch short of being able to use it for a project. Well, if I had not allowed so much, I might have had enough to do that project. So I sew these strips, and these are about 2.5 inches probably was all I needed on this. There went my needle magnet. These are about 2.5 inch strips that I sewed on the side because I put this in my Q-snap, and I can't, when I'm stitching along the edge, that would be so close to my Q-snap or either under my Q-snap that I couldn't stitch on it. So by doing that, it's pretty much the seam goes in the Q-snap, so you've got enough room that you can stitch. And I did have the strip across the top, but when I got down far enough and I was flipping it back and forth to tie it off in the back, I just had that extra 2.5 inches and it was in the way, so I just took it off the other day. And you can see I still have it at the bottom because I'm going to need it when I get down there. And I need it, see it, and this one here really is not too important now, but I got to have it over here to be able to finish stitching down here. So that's why I sew scrap fabric on, and I usually have what I call junk fabric that's not a very good quality that I just cut up and use whatever. And then sometimes I save it. Let me pick my magnet up before I forget and the dogs get it. Sometimes I save it. Sometimes I just cut it off and throw it away because I've got so much fabric it doesn't really matter. Okay, that is everything other than the other stuff I bought this last week and looking at some cross stitch patterns. So let me grab this and another drink. I did find this when I was cleaning. I found this red, white, and blue crochet thread, but it's so bright. I think it's just too bright for me. It's old knit crocheting. It's JP Coats. It's almost too bright for me, I think. I found 2 spools of it. I think I'm going to take this off of here and kind of make loops. And I'm going to try to tone it down with some dye. I may do that this afternoon and see, and then I'll show you in my next video. So some of the things I bought at the book fair, I'm not going to flip through them. I'm just going to show you the covers in case you're interested. These are by Craftways. They're a cross stitch Christmas, and each one of them have a different, they're all called a cross stitch Christmas, but then they have a different title for each one down here. This is Yuletide Traditions. These look like they have never been opened. I flipped through them and they have some really nice projects. I gave $2 a piece for these at the book sale. I got this one. That is a cute design. This is Homemade Holidays, and all of these are by Craftways. And that one is called Holiday Memories. And this one is called A Season of Giving. But every one of them, I mean, see, they are like brand new. The corners are not dinged up or anything. This one is called Joyful Tidings. And the last one is Festive Favorites. But I don't know if these came from one person that donated them all, but none of them look like they've been even opened. I did find this one that was called Victorian Cross Stitch Samplers, and it's old. Well, I forgot the year I saw it in here, but it's got some age on it. It's by Angela Wainwright, and it's, where did I see that date? 1995, first published. But it's got some samplers that they show that you can stitch, and some that they just picture. There's a Bristol Orphanage sampler, but the pattern's not in here. But it does talk about samplers, and it does give you some designs. So it was worth $2. I really didn't look through anything too much because there was so many people there. I just grabbed stuff and thought it's $2. So if it's not very good, I'll throw it in a garage sale or donate it or something. This one is Better Homes and Garden 2001 Cross Stitch Designs. And wow, I am glad I got this one. This is full. Try to get it up here. It is, well, I'm not doing a very good job, but it is full of designs. And they're grouped into different types of things. But also in the back, it gives you a lot of, let me show you, a lot of, well, I can't do it here. It gives you some finishing ideas, is what it is. It's just not easy to flip through there. This one is the Cross Stitcher's Complete Companion, 500 motifs for every occasion. And this one again is full of designs. Some are a little dated looking, but sometimes, you know, you just change your fabric, you change your threads, and it makes it look more up to date. So that was the last book I bought. And then this, I've mentioned before, my husband buys storage units and sells the contents, but I always get first pick out of the stuff. He found that I am totally wrong on this now that I said that. But it is true. I get first pick, and I've gotten sewing machines and cross-stitch supplies and just household stuff and all. So that is true. But this, I forgot. There's a guy that has units, buys units, and he has a unit that he was having a garage sale in. And my husband bought this, and he gave 50 cents for it. It's in good shape. It's dusty, but I can't decide if I should leave it like this or if I should chalk paint it. But this would be so cute to put some of my cross stitch, some of my vintage accessories in, thimbles and spools and whatever. So I can't decide whether to paint it or not. So let me know what you think. It's just super cute. It's got that little trim up at the top. Just can't decide. So let me know whether you think it'll be cuter painted or leave it like it is. And I believe that is it, other than we can look at some charts now. So this is, like I said, my alphabet. This is designers that all start with A. And I thought if y'all like doing this, I would do it from time to time. We'll go just kind of work down the alphabet. And if these are out of print, which some of them will be, but you could look on the secondary market for them. This is a designer called At the Hop. I know she no longer designs, but I bet you could find some of these patterns online. Cute little snowman. Gifts from Holly. I'm going to run through these pretty quick so you don't get bored. Christmas gatherings. And this one is Here's to You. That little bench is cute. This is called, wait a minute. This is by Aeon Designs. This is a computer generated cover. So, but it's really a pretty sampler. And that's from 2005. I don't know if they still design. This is For My Boys. I know she doesn't design anymore. This one I bought on vacation. It's Abby Rose design. Just Saying set 1. Yeah, set 1. This is, y'all are familiar with this, Artful Offerings, Honey Hill Hamlet. I know you're familiar with this one. This is Artful Offerings, Honey Bunny Sampler. I was going to start this one this last spring, and I never did get it done. I really think that's cute. This one I bought on vacation this year. It's called Use What Talents You Possess. And this is still available. It's by All Through the Night. It says, use what talent you possess. The woods would be silent if no birds sang there except those that sang best. So there's that one. And I think these would be pretty just to stitch this by itself even. This one, if you've been a stitcher for years, you know this designer, Alma Lynn. She no longer designs, but this is really a nice book. This is called Down Santa Claus Lane. It was originally $5, and it is full of patterns. It is what I think it said on here, but maybe not. But it's got all kinds of, let me try to get it really close. It's got all kinds of Santas. So this one, I bet you could find it on the secondary market. This one is, I'm assuming Amon Ami Pierre. This is called Victorian Quaker. And, oh, let's see here. There is the big pattern. But then there's these other smaller ones you can do too. Then Anagram Diffusion. This one is called Sampler 2005. What works best? Right there, maybe? I'm sure you can look these up and see the pictures in more detail. This one is also Anagram Diffusion, Sampler Round. This is Sampler 2003, Anagram Diffusion. I had a thing for them. I've not stitched them, but I bought them. Another Anagram Diffusion, Sampler, whatever that is. I don't speak anything but English. I do good to get it out. This one is by Ann Powell Heirloom Stitchery. It's called Jane's Self Sampler. It's an oldie. I bet Brenda and Laura or Carol Saltbox Stitcher probably has that. And another Ann Powell Heirloom Stitchery, Jane Page Sampler. And then I have the first Prosperity Sampler. It says German Sampler Series 4, and it's by Arachna's Silken Web. And this is really pretty. This is Emma Brown's Sampler. Let me pull it partly out of this page. I need to put this in a Ziploc bag. This is Emma Brown Sampler, 1833. Another one that I guess is pronounced Ion. This is Remember Me Sampler. This is by Abby Lane, All Things. Get it up closer. It says, all things bright and beautiful, all creatures great and small, all things wise and wonderful, the Lord God made them all. And then I have a Snowman Alphabet, and it's by Abby Lane. It has all the letters in it, so you can spell out whatever you want. This is by For My Boys, who I said no longer designs, but it's called No Place Like Home. This kind of reminds me of a Bent Creek. This is Grandmother's Flower Garden by Abby Lane. Then I have another, the last Alma Lynn was a patriotic book, Star Spangled Country. And if you remember when I did my patriotic, all the stuff I had stitched patriotic, I had done these bunnies and had them in a frame. So again, lots of patterns again. But let me see, there's a center page. So you can kind of see these old books. I used to put a lot of patterns in them for the price, $5. Okay, well, that is everything that I have for today. I thank you for stopping by, and if you stuck it out with me, I appreciate that. I'll try not to be so long with this next one. Hopefully I can get some editing software and I don't have to worry about recording these things 15 times to get one out. But I think I have gone over everything that I had planned this time. So anyway, I appreciate you stopping by. I hope you have a great week that's coming up. Stay in the house if it's really hot. We have a heat advisory out for us. We've been running in the 90s with a heat index over 100 every day for I don't remember how long. But anyway, like I said, the whole country's probably in the same heat advisory. So if you're not getting heat, you're getting rain. So just take care and try to stay cool. Southern hemisphere, I guess, try to stay warm. And I'll see you in a couple of weeks. So get some stitching done and stop back by to see me. Thanks. Bye.